You know, we all think we know hydrogen. It's number one on the periodic table, right? Super simple, maybe even a little boring. But what if I told you that the most basic building block of literally everything is actually one of the universe's greatest mysteries? Today, we're going on a cosmic detective mission to uncover the secret life of hydrogen. Okay, so our first clue is just mind-blowing. 75%. That's how much of the entire known universe's mass is just hydrogen. Think about that. Every star, every planet, you, me, we're all just part of the other 25%. It's not just the most common element. For all intents and purposes, it is most of the universe. So, if it's everywhere, where is it? That's our first big question. And this is where we hit a really strange paradox. Hydrogen is everywhere out there in the cosmos, but try to find it here on Earth in its pure form? Good luck. And here's that paradox in black and white. Out in space, hydrogen is the star of the show. Literally, it's a super hot plasma that fuels our sun and every single star you see in the night sky. But down here on Earth, it's a totally different story. There's almost no free hydrogen gas just floating around. It's all in hiding. So where's it hiding? Well, it's locked up inside other molecules. The most obvious one, of course, is water, H2O. But it's also a key ingredient in you and me, in all organic compounds. Even rocks and minerals hold it captive. You see, on Earth, hydrogen isn't a free agent. It's always part of a team. And this leads us to the real heart of the mystery. It's not just about where hydrogen is, but what it is. Seriously, hydrogen has a massive identity crisis. It's an element that just doesn't seem to know where it fits in the grand scheme of things. And the reason for all this confusion, it's just so beautifully simple. One proton, one electron. That's the whole shebang. This structure, just one little electron in its only energy shell, is what gives hydrogen all of its unique and, frankly, contradictory behaviors. It's so simple that it's actually complicated. This leaves us with the big question, the one that has been bugging chemists for over 100 years. When you're trying to organize all the elements, where on Earth do you put hydrogen? What family does it even belong to? Here's the problem. Hydrogen is basically a chemical double agent. On one hand, it can act just like the alkali metals in group 1, getting rid of its only electron to become a positive ion, but then it can completely flip the script and act like the halogens in group 17, because it's just one electron short of having a full shell, so it wants to gain one. It's a giver and a taker. So how do scientists solve this identity crisis? Well, they don't. Because of this totally unique dual personality, hydrogen gets its own special VIP spot, just floating all alone at the top of the periodic table. It belongs to no group, and yet it kind of rules over all of them. A true elemental outsider. And believe it or not, the mystery deepens. Hydrogen doesn't just have a double identity. It's also a master of disguise. It actually shows up in 3 distinct forms, and each one has its own unique personality. So let's look at these 3 faces. You've got the single, super reactive atomic form. Then you have the stable molecular H2 gas that we're all familiar with. But the one that's really interesting is this one in the middle, nascent hydrogen. The word nascent literally means just born. And that's exactly what this is. It's a hydrogen atom at the very instant it's set free in a chemical reaction. For just a split second before it can find a buddy to form stable H2 gas, it's incredibly potent and reactive. It's hydrogen in its freshest, most powerful state. Okay, so we've tracked its location, we've looked at its multiple identities, but how do we actually unmask this element in the real world? How do we prove it's there? Well, lucky for us, our mystery element has a signature calling card. The method is a total chemistry classic. It's so simple. You just collect whatever gas you think might be hydrogen in a test tube. Then you take a lit splint, bring it to the opening of the tube, and then you listen. And that's it, that distinct squeaky pop. It's the unmistakable sound of hydrogen gas. It's the sound of our mystery being solved, right there in a test tube. But hold on, what is that sound? I mean, really, it's not just a cool little noise. It's some beautiful chemistry happening out loud. So what does that pop actually mean? That pop is the sound of an incredibly fast, energetic reaction. It's the sound of hydrogen combusting with the oxygen in the air. As you can see from the equation, H2 and O2 are slamming together to form H2O. That pop is the literal sound of water being made. All right, Let's recap our whole investigation. We discovered that hydrogen makes up a whopping 75% of the universe. It's got that lonely, unique spot on the periodic table. It shows up in 3 different forms, and we can always unmask it with its signature sound, a pop that is literally the sound of water being born.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thought. Hydrogen is the simplest thing in the universe. 1 proton, 1 electron. And yet, it's packed with all this complexity and mystery. So if the simplest thing we know is still one of our biggest puzzles,